The hour has reached 12 o'clock noon. If everyone would please move towards their seats, silence all cell phones. I'll call the third meeting of the House Standing Committee on Banking and Insurance to order at this time. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Representative All. Here. Representative Ballman. Present. Representative Bray. Present. Representative Camuel.
Here.
Representative Klines.
Here.
Representative Duvall.
Here.
Representative Gooch. Representative Gordon.
Yes.
Representative Grossberg. Representative Hampton.
Here, sir.
Representative Hancock.
Here.
Representative Heverin. Representative Lewis.
Here.
Representative McPherson.
Here.
Representative Rudy. Representative Smith. Representative Lockett.
Here.
Representative Pollock.
Here.
Chair Meredith.
Yes, sir. We do have a quorum and are duly constituted to do our business today. I do have at least one member that has guest. Representative Pollock, would you like to introduce your guest?
I sure would, Mr. Chairman. It's exciting for me, an honor and a privilege to welcome a 4-H'ers from Marion County here in the Green. So just please make him feel welcome.
Do any other members have guests that they'd like to introduce before we get started with the business? Seeing none, we are going to go out of order on the agenda. I like to give courtesy to our members who are not members of this committee if they have bills before us. So Representative Bowling, if you and your guests would like to come up, we'll call House Bill 701 at this time. Please, when you come to the table, introduce yourselves for the record, and then you all may proceed with your presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Vice Chairman Lockett and committee. I am State Representative Adam Bowling, representing the 87th Legislative District. And with me today, we have...
Hi, Ashley Gunn. Thank you. Hi, Ashley Gunn with Coinbase. I oversee our state policy affairs.
I believe House Bill 701 does have a committee substitute,
It
Representative
does.
Bowling.
Yes.
Got a motion on the sub from Representative McPherson, a second from Representative Bray. If you would tell us just a little bit about what the sub does before we adopt that with a voice vote.
Sure. Several of you were on this committee, or most of you were on this committee last year. I had a bill that addressed three major sections of that bill. Was the right to hold and transact, the right to mine, and then treating it as a commodity and not a security. We had some language changes from last year on the mining section of the bill. I tried to kind of slim that down. Really, we wanted to go ahead and move forward with it. We couldn't come up with language that we all agreed on it, so we decided just to take that out altogether. So this bill this year does not deal with mining or anything like that. So that section is gone. And then I do believe there was one other sentence that was added in section number 2. In this section, shall not require any person to accept digital assets for payment for legal goods or services. So it does not require them to do so. Anybody's free to do it if they so please, but does not require them to do so in any way. Just to clarify, I felt like it already said that in the bill, but we did want to clarify that section.
Thank you, Representative Bowling. Any questions about the sub before we adopt it? Seeing none, all in favor of adopting the sub, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The substitute is adopted. You may go on with the rest of your presentation now, Representative Bowling.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And as you well know, the age of digital assets and blockchain technology is upon us. In the United States and across the world, there are several $1 trillion in digital assets currently being held. In the state of Kentucky, nearly 500,000 individuals own a digital asset of some kind. House Bill 701 aims to modernize and move Kentucky forward with regards to digital assets and blockchain technology by protecting monetary freedom and preventing outdated regulations from stifling innovation and commerce. Mr. Chair, I'm going to go through, there's 5 sections to this bill. The first section, it's about 3 pages of the 7-page bill, and it just deals with definitions. These definitions will help govern this technology as we move forward. Section 2 deals with an individual's right to hold digital assets and transact using those digital assets. Section 3, we start to get a little more technical with the blockchain protocol and the individual technical mechanisms of governing how it works. We also, in this section, give full authority to the Attorney General to prosecute any fraud or abuse under Kentucky's current consumer protection laws. Section 4 reiterates that we are going to treat this as a commodity and not a security. And so that's sections 4 and 5 deal with that.
I've got a motion on the bill from Representative Bauman. Motion on the bill is amended by the committee substitute by Representative Bauman, a second by Representative Pollock. I do have some questions. Representative All has a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just have two quick questions. There's a lot of debate at the federal level right now about whether or not this is a security or a commodity. Could you tell us why we're getting out in front and trying to figure out if we're going to follow the federal regulators' lead and why we're going ahead and preactively defining it as a commodity here in Kentucky?
Sure. I mean, from my point of view, they've been having that debate for 6, 7, 8 years up there now. So we're basically saying what other states have said, and let's take the lead on it, that we need to treat this as a commodity and not a security. And so that's what we are doing in this bill.
Okay. My other question is, Section 3, does this prohibit local cities and counties from enacting any zoning there if they want to do so?
Section 3 does not. That was in the old, that was before the committee sub. That Section 3 that you're probably looking at, that's been taken out altogether. So that all that language under what you're seeing there, it is gone completely in the committee substitute.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from members of the committee? Erica, Representative Hancock.
Yes, I'd like to ask a question. I know, just like everybody else that I talked to about this, is I know just enough to be dangerous. Being an insurance and financial background, we worry a lot about money laundering. We worry a lot about the autonomy of these things and making sure that we protect our consumers with these issues. Why do you choose it as a commodity? I know probably for regulation purposes, but to me, it seems more of a security. Can you explain what your defense is on that?
Yeah, I'm going to let our resident expert answer that question, but that's a very good question. Thank you.
So I think at the federal level, this conversation is happening, in real time between the commodity and the security. I would say, technically the bill actually doesn't sort of define that it's explicitly a commodity. I think there are crypto activities that we want to clarify are not a security. We're not necessarily defining that it is a commodity, but we are making sure it's known that it's not a security. And I would just highlight that, there was active litigation happening at the federal level that was over certain pieces of what this bill sort of specifies, which is staking as a security, which is an infrastructure software provider or an infrastructure software system that Coinbase and others provide. At the federal level, the Securities Exchange Commission was claiming that we were violating securities laws by doing that. That case, as of Friday, has been completely dismissed. That is no longer an issue. The SEC has righted that wrong, and so they have, in doing that, they sort of have taken away the securities violation piece. Now, they aren't coming out completely saying that it's a commodity, but they are saying that it's not a security. And that's exactly what this bill would do as well.
Representative Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I guess I'll use this as a comment, and then you can answer too. But to make it simple for the committee on clarifying security and commodity, securities have to be reported. So if you have if you're doing any investments, as a representative here does finances, you have to file if you do private placements, if you do securities. The problem with the past administration was they wanted to identify this as a security to stop it. It wasn't to enhance it or to move it forward. They found a way to stop crypto from moving. So they made it a security, even though they had the Treasury Department over the currency arguing with them, saying it should be a commodity and be held liable through the currency. So it was a battle between even departments in the federal side. But to make it really clear, that's what this administration will be doing, in my opinion, because it's crypto friendly. The president has placed someone over SEC that has a mindset to make this work, to regulate it. We're not getting in front of anything. We're basically given a definition that when this gets regulated, that we'll be able to start bringing companies in and start dealing with this industry. So I think it's an important bill. Wouldn't hurt for Kentucky to be in the lead in something rather than waiting for other states to tell us what needs to be done. So I appreciate the sponsor doing this. I've been looking into this for the last couple of years and talking to the chairman. I think it's important that we have a structure, but to really bring it down and understand the security and commodity, understand that it was trying to be blocked. So they used the security. They filed lawsuits against this company here, against several crypto companies to block them. But now that we see that the new administration's already dropped the lawsuits. They're dropping them as they've been fighting. They're going through them individually as they drop them. But it's to make a change in the river, so be it. That the stream will go the same direction, that we'll be able to trade in this as a commodity. You buy one coin, you would have to file with the SEC in a security because you was buying it as a security, like you're buying a stock. That's what the problem was. The paperwork wouldn't have filled this room. So if you want to stop something, cause that. So I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, to elaborate so much, but I think that's the simplest way to put it. And if she wants to reiterate or follow up with it, I'd appreciate it. I was just giving my viewpoint and what my understanding of it was.
Yeah, no, I think Representative, you hit the nail on the head there. We completely agree with that assessment. And all of those conversations are happening at the federal level. And when that does get determined as sort of what the life cycle of a digital asset looks like, whether it be a security or a commodity, then that determines who will regulate that. And I want to be clear, right now Coinbase is a federally regulated business under FinCEN. We have a money services business. We have to comply with all AML KYC laws. But the confusion comes because we don't have a markets regulator, whether that be the Securities Exchange Commission or the Commodities Future Trading Commission. And this is where this securities versus commodities conversation comes into play. And that when that does get settled, which I do fully believe that Congress will pass some sort of market structure clarity legislation here in the near term, then we will be able to get a markets regulator, and then that will provide a lot more certainty to the market as to how digital assets should be regulated. But this is an opportunity for Kentucky, to Representative Smith's point, to be on the leading front of this and sort of taking a step before, and showing the rest of the country.
Representative Lockett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, you actually just answered part of my question, so I just want to make a quick comment. One, I think part of the reason why we are doing this bill now is to lay the groundwork for when the feds do decide exactly what crypto is. As an advisor that deals with this all the time, I'm going to lean more towards the side that it is a security because there's the opportunity for loss. So if there's an opportunity for loss, then in my book, it's a security. I can also see the other side, so I'm kind of anxious to see what the feds say on this. But I'm very glad for the bill because it does put Kentucky in a place to where once the feds decide what they're going to call it, we're ready to go. So thank you, Mr. Sponsor.
Any other questions for other members of the committee? I do have a motion and a second on the bill as amended by the committee substitute. I do believe correct. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Representative All,
Yes.
Representative Ballman,
Yes.
Representative Bray,
Yes.
Representative Camuel,
May I explain my vote?
Go right ahead, Representative.
Thank you. I'm going to pass today. I'm still trying to fully understand what you've presented, but also hearing from my colleagues up here on whether it should be regulated as a security or a commodity. So I'm just going to pass and keep looking into it. So thank you.
Representative Klein's,
Yes.
Representative Duvall,
Yes.
Representative Gooch.
Yes.
Representative Gordon.
Yes.
Representative Grossberg.
Permission to explain my vote.
Go right ahead.
It's clear to me that crypto suffers from the same wave particle duality of light, that it behaves like a security when you want it to be a commodity and a commodity when you want it to be a security. And I'm not clear how it's going to come down at the end 10, 15, 20 years from now when we're looking back. But I echo the sentiment of Representative Lockett that at least this puts Kentucky in the forefront and prepares us to deal with however it is finally disposed of. So I am a yes with reservations.
Representative Hampton.
Yes.
Representative Hancock.
I'd like to explain my vote.
Go ahead, Representative.
I will be a yes vote. You did a great job, both of you all, easing my concerns. As of last night, I know enough, again, to be dangerous, but not know enough. I think that getting on the front of it, the regulation side of it, is going to be extremely important for our consumer protection piece. I know everybody in here that's in banking and finance, every year we hear news stories of different ways to launder money. To me, this is a vehicle that seems like it could be easy to do. And I just want to make sure that we have those conversations, don't politicize them. Let's not put each other on each different side, but what's best for the consumers in Kentucky. So I'm a yes.
Representative Heverin.
Yes.
Representative Lewis.
Yes.
Representative Lockett.
Yes.
Representative McPherson.
Yes.
Representative Pollock.
Yes.
Representative Rudy. Representative Smith.
Yes, quickly explain my vote, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
Again, I'd like the members to understand, we're talking about 500,000 of our